Finding sides of triangles using sine, cosine, and tangent notes. In this lesson, we're going to be learning how to find missing sides in right triangles using information given about the triangle. We'll be basing our technique off of sine, cosine, and tangent using SOHCAHTOA from previous lessons. So here's our triangle. It's a right triangle. Notice that this angle is 25 degrees. This side is x, this side is 10. We're solving for the side that's missing the x. So the first thing you need to do is identify, does this information allow us to use sine, cosine, or tangent? And if you look, based on the angle they give us, this would be the opposite side and this would be the adjacent side. And opposite and adjacent would be tangent. So we could write tangent 25 degrees equals opposite over adjacent. Now, to solve this equation for x, all I have to do is multiply both sides of the equation by 10. Okay, so those cancel, and I get 10 times the tangent 25 degrees. That's going to be x. So tangent 25 is stored inside your calculator. So if you have this calculator, one of mine, all you're going to do is type in 10 times tangent and then the 25 degrees. Hit enter. And I get, as my answer, 4.66. Now, we're going to round that to 4.7. So always round sides to the 10th place. Okay, and that is our answer. If you have this calculator, you would do the same thing. Type in 10 tangent, oops, I did sine, delete that. 10 tangent 25 degrees. And again, I get 4.66, we round it to 4.7. So the key to doing these problems is to figure out first, can I use sine, cosine, or tangent? And then fill in the information we know, and then solve for the variable. And when we have to convert like tangent 25 to a decimal, we just use our calculators. Here's example number 2. There's my angle, 39 degrees. X is the side I want. 7 is the other side they gave me, which is the hypotenuse. This side is the adjacent side to 39. So I have adjacent and hypotenuse, which is cosine, adjacent hypotenuse. So I'll do the cosine of 39 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And to solve this again, you're just going to multiply both sides by 7 because it's x divided by 7. So to get rid of dividing by 7, I just multiply by 7 on both sides. So I get x equals 7 times cosine 39. So on my calculator, I'm simply going to type in 7 cosine 39. And I get 5.44, so I can round that to 5.4. So I think the hardest part of this is simply identifying which trig identity you're using, sine, cosine, or tangent. So number 3, there's my angle 40. This is the opposite side from 40, and this is the hypotenuse. Opposite and hypotenuse is a sine problem. So I do sine 40 equals x over 19. Now, again, to solve this, I just multiply both sides of the equation by 19. So in my calculator, I'm going to type in 19 times the sine of 40. So on my calculator, I'm going to type in 19 times sine 40. And I get 12.2, which I will round it to that. So this is not very hard once you figure out whether you're using sine, cosine, or tangent. All right, number 4th example. Again, here's the angle, 27 degrees. X is the opposite side. 10 is the adjacent side. That's opposite over adjacent. That's tangent. So I'm going to do tangent 27 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse. I'm sorry, opposite over adjacent. Multiply both sides by 10. I get x equals, type that into your calculator. Let's use this calculator this time. So 10 times tangent 27. And that's 5.1 if you round it. So when we're trying to find sides of triangles, we'll always round to the 10th place. So 1 decimal tenths. Here's the last one. 72 is this angle. X is opposite, 20 is adjacent. Opposite and adjacent, again, that's a tangent problem. So I'm going to do tangent 72 equals opposite over adjacent. Multiply both sides by 20. Type that into your calculator. 20 tan 72. And I get 61.55, which will round to 61.6. So one of the keys here is that you have to remember and be able to identify sine, cosine, and tangent using the different sides of the triangle that are given.